Now, authorities are out in their numbers on the country's roads as people leave for various holiday destinations. To get an update on the roads, I'm joined by the Johannesburg Metro Police Department spokesperson, Mr. Minnaar. Mr. Minnaar, good to have you on the daytime update today. Could you give us an idea of how the traffic flow outside of Gauteng is actually going at the moment? This is traditionally a very busy time for our roads.
Yes, with traffic leaving Johannesburg, particularly the Mike 2 and then joining the N3 in a southerly direction towards KZN is busy, as well as the Mike 1 North, where it joins the November 1 towards Limpopo is also very busy. Then we're also having traffic in a southerly direction on the Mike 1, November 1 South, for traffic going towards Free State and also the Eastern Cape. The N12 on in a westerly direction towards the northwest is also very busy as we speak. So motorists must comply with road traffic regulation so that we can have fewer accidents and fewer road deaths, particularly speeding, high speeding, overloading of vehicles is also a concern, particularly the public motor vehicles. Those vehicles must drive with safety.
And as far as accidents reported so far, what is that looking like at the moment?
In Johannesburg, we have had fatalities. Just before the long weekend, last weekend, there was a Mazda which collided with a wall where two passengers had died, and there were also pedestrian fatalities. However, the figures still need to be consolidated, and then that will be released later on as we get towards the end of the festive season. But yes, there has been fatalities which really can be avoided because 90% of the accidents is still attributed to human error, where drivers blatantly disregard road traffic regulations, excessive speed, driving over solid line, also alcohol. We've seen with the long weekend, this past weekend, 100 drunken drivers arrested. So there will still be some more operations as we head for Christmas, and there will be a lot of officers on duty.
You talk about a lot of officers on duty, but we are also seeing an increased number of roadblocks during this season. What exactly informs where the Metro Police Department will be holding those roadblocks, and what are they looking for during those routine stops?
Yes, the roadblocks are held at different locations, which we do move around. And when a driver is stopped, the first issue is about whether the person is licensed to drive, whether the person should be on the road, and then also alcohol. Alcohol during the festive season remains a challenge, with people still consuming alcohol and then driving. So every time officers do stop vehicles, is that they check to see if the driver is fit to drive and if the vehicle is roadworthy, particularly tires, lights, and the license disc on the vehicle is in order.
You know, Mr. Minnaar, holiday makers often tend to choose similar time periods in order to leave Gauteng. When would you suggest are the safest times to actually be on the road?
Actually, during day hours, when it is still light, that's the safest time to be out on the roads, because the fatal accidents usually occur late at night when there appears to be individuals who then are in a rush and driving at excessively high speed to reach their destination. So the best times to drive is during the day, from sunrise to sunset.
A lot of people are still only going to holidays. When is the best time to actually be coming back from the holidays so you don't find yourself in those traffic queues?
Yes, with some people now returning, others still leaving Gauteng making their way to KZN, Limpopo, there and the other provinces. So if there are officers on the roads, just comply, obey, stop when it is necessary. And then very importantly, for the drivers themselves to comply with road traffic regulations and not to drive at excessively high speed. Another concern is also pedestrians, because the majority of the deaths, or at least half of the deaths on our roads annually, are pedestrian fatalities, because we find that people consume alcohol and then cross over roads at night when their judgment and perception of speed and distance is affected through the alcohol, and that is when we have the fatalities.
Mr. Wayne Minnaar, spokesperson for the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, thank you so much for that update on the status of roads, specifically those who are leaving Gauteng to go to their various destinations.